Kenner made the most iconic toys in history, and with that came playsets. Today we're gonna list off my top 10, and we're gonna get one of our own. So let's go. Welcome back to the journey. I am on a quest to collect all the Star Wars Kenner action figures from 1977 to 1985. But I'm not just collecting action figures, I'm also collecting playsets. And I've gotten some pretty good ones already, like a loose Jabba playset and a gorgeous box version with all the inserts and sealed baggies. And I picked up this boxed turret and playset at my first Toy Con recently, and I display that with an acrylic. And I have this Dianoga trash monster graded 90 from CAS and a trash compactor with the foam still intact. So technically, I have part of the Death Star playset, right? Well, maybe not. But it got me thinking, what are the other playsets that I would like to collect one day? And it's pretty much all of them. What are the playsets with the best play value, design, durability? Basically, which ones did I wish that I had the most when I was a kid? So let's rank what I think are the top 10 best playsets. Number 10, Land of the Jawas playset. In 1979, Kenner released this playset that let you recreate the Tatooine adventures of R2-D2, 3PO, Luke, and the Jawas. Action figures not included though, but what was included, the plastic base, escape pod, and cardboard cutout of the Sandcrawler. The main features were a small manual elevator, the escape pod hatch that opened and closed, foot pegs to display the figures, and battle action levers that move to knock over a figure. The plastic base was later reused for the Hoth ice planet. Number 9, Turret and Probot playset. Released in 1981, it contained the white plastic snow base with a lever that rotated the Probot, a turret where an action figure could sit in, and a door that opens to have an action figure inside there as well. At number 8, it's Jabba the Hut action playset. What? A Jabba playset at number 8? You guys are all saying, how dare you? And even though this holds extra sentimental value for me because my grandparents got this for me for Christmas, let's be real, it's a plastic box that opens and closes with a handle. The cool part about this playset is that it comes with 2 amazing action figures in Jabba the Hut and Salacious Crumb. But this is about playsets, not action figures. The design of the throne and the dungeon mold is very well done though, and the throne armrest with the hookah is very nicely designed and molded. So overall, this does make the top 10 list. This playset was first released in 1983 and has since then been reissued by Hasbro in various renditions during the late 90s into present day. Number 7, Darth Vader's Destroyer action playset. Only issued in 1980 for the Empire Strikes Back line of toys, this playset is the most polarizing of all the playsets. Some people love it, some hate it. It's supposed to reenact all the scenes from Darth Vader's ship, such as the opening and closing meditation chamber, the communication screen, the bridge where Vader can view space and have the Imperial officers doing, well, officer things at their work desks, a swiveling cannon, and you can hang an action figure from the ceiling. Why this is here, I have no idea, but after watching the Kenobi series, Vader is one sick puppy. And there's also an escape hatch that opens and closes. Kenner couldn't make a full Star Destroyer to house the 3.75-inch figures due to ludicrous production costs and store shelf space considerations. Instead, kids got what they have nicknamed the Space Cheese Wedge. A retracting handle allowed you to fly this through space. But since this has a ton of playable features, and I would love to have this one day, it gets on this list. But if G.I. Joe gave us the aircraft carrier for 3.75-inch figures, could you imagine if we actually got an Imperial Star Destroyer playset of that magnitude? Number 6, the Dagobah action playset. Released in 1981, one of the most iconic playsets to come from the Kenner line. You can recreate scenes from The Empire Strikes Back with Yoda's hut, levitation mechanism where Luke can levitate boxes or R2, and the foam swamp pit, which by the way is hard to find intact these days. There's also 2 levers for simulated battles where you can recreate the cave scene with Luke and Vader. And did you know that on the bottom of this playset, the artist etched his daughter's name, Emily, into the mold? And I got a chance to actually meet that artist when I went to my first Toy Con in Nashville. Number 5, the Imperial Attack Base. First and only released in 1981 for the Empire Strikes Back line of toys, this playset recreates the Empire's raid of the Rebel Hoth base. It features a swiveling gun turret, an exploding command post, a collapsing bridge, and a landmine, where if a figure stands on it, it gets knocked over. A ton of parts to put together on Christmas morning, but a ton of playability when it's all set up. Number 4, the Ewoks Village Action Playset. When it first came out in 1983, this was a hit with children because of the lovable Ewoks and how many action figures Kenner made of them. 8 figures from the theatrical movie and 6 from the cartoon line, so it was a no-brainer to have this playset made. It came with a ton of parts to put together, and once frustrated parents were able to figure it all out, the features and playability were endless. With the fire spit to cook your favorite hero in, a drum, 3PO's throne, the elevator, swinging attack boulder, the capture net with anchor, the escape hatch, and the Ewok hut. A ton of fun and a ton of work to collect a pristine example these days. This playset was later repackaged and updated by Kenner for their Robin Hood line of toys. Number 3, Droid Factory. Released in 1979, this is one of the most unique Star Wars toys as it's both a playset and a construction set. You can help the Jawas build droids with the help of the blueprint that came in the box, with 33 interchangeable parts and features that included a crane, a ramp, and a staging area to house the parts in. The playset also came with an ability to build your own R2-D2, and this figure came with a third leg that wasn't available in the regular release of the action figure. And I love this feature so much that I had to pick up my own R2 from this playset. This playset was released in the original Star Wars wave, the Empire Strikes Back wave, and later redesigned into the Jabba the Hut dungeon for the Return of the Jedi wave. Number 2, the Palatoid Death Star playset. Sometimes playsets released in different world regions may have had the same name, but due to budget or material availability, they had different design and play features. And this was the case with the 1979 Palatoid Death Star playset. Made with inexpensive cardboard inserts, it still offers an array of play with 6 different segments that you can use to reenact scenes from the movie. With a laser turret on top of the model, compartments to place figures in, bridges, hangers to scene build and place die casts and figures, chutes, elevators. It's one of the most amazing playsets and one of the most coveted and expensive collector pieces to find in great condition and complete. But before we get to number 1, there are a couple of really great special mentions. The Cantina Adventure playset, 1978. This may not be the best designed or have the most playability, but because of its historical significance to collectors and the fact that this was only available as a Sears catalog exclusive playset, it makes this list. And this is where we also got the blue snaggletooth. The next special mention is one of the most rare, the Darth Vader TIE Fighter Hangar playset. Made out of cardboard and depicts an Empire hangar bay where you can display the TIE Fighter advanced ship from Kenner. This was only available in the Darth Vader TIE Fighter boxes that noted the inclusion of this piece with a special offer sticker on the box. It would have also come with an instruction paper sheet that's also rare to find. This playset was also made for the Slave 1 ship and cropped a bit to fit the Slave 1 size. It would have also had a special offer sticker noting the inclusion of this inside the box. Let me know if you knew about these rare pieces of Kenner history down there in the comments. And now for my number 1, and it's probably no surprise to you at all. The Death Star Space Station. This was the first playset made by Kenner for the Star Wars line of toys, and it's also the greatest, both for its playability and its historical collectability. Standing at a full 20 inches tall, 4 floors, each of which contains areas to recreate scenes from the original Star Wars movie. It features a turret laser on the top level, a retractable bridge in the center portion of the play area, and on the lower level, the famous trash compactor that came with the Dianoga trash monster, and it also came filled with foam. This was only issued until 1979 and then discontinued, so to find an unsealed and unused box version is very rare. This version was only released in Canada and the US, although Canada was lucky enough to have gotten both versions of the Death Star playsets. And one day, I would love to have a box version of both of these, complete and unused. And if you've ever wanted to know, how many Death Star playsets does it take to make a full circle? It takes 9, which I guess if you wanted to make a sphere, it would be 18. An expensive proposition, but you know somebody was bound to do it. So that was my top 10 best playsets. And did you agree with my list? And which ones would you include that I didn't? Let us all know down there in the comments. And now for this episode. I wanted to do something special. And I wanted to get something that I had when I was a kid. And since I didn't really give my boxed turret and Probot playset the love and the focus that it deserved as soon as I got it, let's go ahead and amend that. Apart from the information I already gave for this playset, this is one of only 5 playsets that came with an exclusive figure, the Probot, Kenner's version of the Imperial probe droid. The inclusion of this figure elevates the play factor on this toy, and I knew this firsthand. I used to play with the figure more than I played with the turret when I had this set as a child. The idea behind the playset was to combine 2 areas of play into one. You can emulate the scene where Chewbacca and Han destroy the Probot, as well as the Rebel defense turrets as the walkers approached Echo Base. The first iteration of the box had the title Turret/Probot listed, and this version is very rare as Kenner changed this box quickly to read Turret and Probot playset, and the Canadian version offered by Sears had it listed Gun Turret and Probot. And since I want to leave this set inside the box, I decided to get a loose version for display. And I found one being sold on Facebook for $60, so I picked it up. It's missing the stickers on the turret, but this one is just for loose display and for people to handle it if they wish. So I don't mind not having the stickers on it. The one I have in the box, I'd like to keep in a more pristine state. So when I display this, I'm gonna have the box in the back and the loose one sitting right in front. So let's cross this off our list. That we got from a seller on the Imperial Commissary Facebook group for $60. Down in my descriptions are links for supplies that you may need for your collecting journey. And when you click and buy using my links, it does support the channel, so thank you for that. And also, join me on all my other social media. The links for those are on the homepage of my YouTube channel. And we finally have our own merch store, so head on down to the descriptions to get your hands on some Padawan collector gear. And yes, there's even some Rami and Jaws gear. So thank you for going over the top 10 playsets with me. And let me know which one is your #1 top playset. I can't wait to start my full playset run, but I think it's gonna be a very, very hard run because I'm gonna collect those complete and in the box. And if I can get them sealed, I'm gonna get them sealed in box. So if you found this episode interesting, please hit that like button. That does support the channel. And if you want to see more Star Wars collecting content from me, please consider subscribing. And also, hit that notification bell so you know when episodes go live. I post videos every Sunday with bonus content on Wednesdays. And you want to be subscribed because I have a big giveaway coming up. And as always, my friends, thank you, and I will see you next time. If you're new to the channel, check out the welcome video, or just check out the next episode. And please subscribe if you want to follow the journey. And remember, there is no shame in being a Padawan.